Certain moments in life define a person. Moments that invoke physical feelings that can't be described, that flood the heart and soul with more emotions than could possibly be fathomed. This was one of those moments. Margot Hunley had a question to answer. Her answer to Luke Moreau would change her life forever. The scent of the salt water, mixed with popcorn, and the remnants from their picnic lingered in the air. Smells she would remember for the rest of her life. Music and cheers from the celebration happening below them at Crissy Field made her smile. Very appropriate for today. The breeze picked up and made her skirt wrap around her legs. Margot gazed down at Luke. So handsome in his black pinstriped suit, he was down on one knee and smiling at her as if the moon and stars obeyed her every whim.
"Well, are you wishing me to ask again?"
He winked at her. She placed a hand on his cheek as her answer bubbled up inside her. Yes! She'd dreamed of this day since she was a little girl. He jumped to his feet and threw his arms around her. Of course I'll marry you. She laughed against his ear. You know I've been waiting ever so patiently for the past 2 years. Tipping his head back, he laughed.
"I do know, mon amour, and it has taken me that long to save enough for your ring."
He tapped the tip of her nose with a finger.
"But it was not until I gained this job that I knew I could provide for you and a family."
He pulled her close against him again, and then stepped back and gripped her hands as his eyes sparkled.
"Our dreams are all about to come true."
Leaning in close, he captured her lips with his own, and she melted at his touch. His French accent was one of the things she'd loved most about him from the moment she met him. And not just the accent, but his voice, the sincerity and honesty that she always heard there. Luke had never once been false with her. And when he used his pet name for her, my love, it made her feel prized and adored. Times had been tough since the Depression began, but they'd worked, scrimped, and saved so they could have a future together. Always dreaming and planning, hoping for the day when their time would come. Working on building the new bridge would be exactly what they needed for stability. His many odd jobs and her nanny position up to this point hadn't been enough for them to put much back, and worry had begun to creep in that the hardships would last for years to come. But God had provided once again. The sounds from the celebration drifted up to her in another wave of joyfulness. Luke wrapped his arms around her waist as they watched from the hill above.
"History in the making. What a privilege that we get to be part of such a day."
Even after the parade up Market Street and groundbreaking ceremonies, the huge crowd still hung around. It is. Her smile widened. It was fun to hear Governor Rolfe and Mayor Rossi make their speeches, but to hear the telegram from President Hoover read, I think that was the most exciting. Something to tell her children and grandchildren about. She turned in his arms to face him. Thank you for bringing me up here for a picnic. It's nice to have this time together. First to celebrate the bridge, now to celebrate us. He kissed her forehead and pulled her into another hug.
"I love you more than life itself, Margot."
His breath against her ear sent a little shiver up her spine. "I love you too." They stood for several moments, simply watching the happiness below them. Margot's heart felt like it would burst. There was much to look forward to. Not only was the bridge over the Golden Gate Strait much needed, but it brought something even more important at this time. Jobs that infused the community with hope. Hope that hadn't been present for a long time.